Hey everybody, Mac the Monster here, back with Daredevil. I got him to level 30, so I figured I'd give a little skill review and go over the build that I went with, just calling it the Cane Master, because it's really more of a DPS build than a tank build. You can take him either way. I don't think you'll really be a main tank, but you can definitely off-tank and be kind of tanky. So, just looking at his stats here, his fighting skill does go up pretty high. It'll go up to the last tier. The reason why I say he's not going to be the greatest tank is because he's not really durable. When he does get hit, he gets hit hard. And going over his skills and everything, he does have a dodge passive, which is nice. It actually almost pays out really good. It's about 0.9% per point, so you almost get 1% per point. And that would give him 21% dodge. And that's meant to roll in with this action roll here, which at level 30 maximize it out. It gives you about 23% dodge. I got some extra bonus points. So you can hit roughly between 50 and 60% dodge with Daredevil, and you know that would be adequate. But every other attack's getting through, and a lot of the dodge or a lot of the boss attacks aren't dodgeable. So you know you're gonna get hit. Really, what I found his main mitigation ability is to be this radar ping. If you look at it, put the points into there, it's actually a damage buff. You do 40% more damage, and enemies do 35% less damage. That's what's paying off big time. It's only 10 spirit, and at this rank, it's going to last you around 11 seconds. Super awesome ability. For me, it's my #1 ability. I think it's the best ability that he's got, and it's just incredible. And that's gonna go in with the second ability that, for my build, is gonna be the priority, which is Enter the Void. If you look, you get crit chance, about 0.5% per point spent. Not the greatest return. And it starts to increase the buff duration. It's not the longest buff, about 6 seconds at rank 14 with 11.5% crit chance. But with the way I built my Daredevil, that's putting me at roughly 25% crit chance. And that's going to tie in with your attack skills. You really have two choices in attack skills. You have Club Strike, which is a small AoE. If you look at where Daredevil's standing, every time I hover over it, it gives you an indication at how far it will attack and what its actual area effect is. So you can hit 2, maybe 3 guys usually on this. I've actually hit 4, but 2 to 3 is the standard on Club Strike. With Taser Club, it's a single target ability where its energy damage leaches out to another target. These are his 2 basic fighting powers. You have to choose between which one you want to use, really. They do similar damage, except the Club Strike will strike multiple mobs, and the Taser Club's guaranteed to only hit 2 mobs, 1 for the physical damage, 2 for the energy damage. And it really has a low chance to knock down. It has a knockdown chance. At rank 13, it has a 10% chance to knock down. That's just terrible. Where with the Club Strike, if we maximize that out, that's giving you a 53% chance to slow the movement speed and attack speeds of enemies by 35% for 3 seconds. I mean, that's just awesome. That's what you want. Get that going on a boss, and then you do your damage. So I tend to go with the club strike, my personal choice. You can choose whichever one you want. For damage, you have your choice. You can go with a ranged ability, like this rebounding club. I have an item that grants this ability, so I can show you how it works on this dummy. It's only supposed to hit 3 targets, but it does actually hit 4 targets. Oops, keep missing. And that's about the most it's going to hit, is 4. It doesn't do anything else than that. So that's alright for ranged. You know, it's kind of an AoE ability. This whirling club is much better for me, and I'll show you why. And I also go with triple strike myself. This is fast damage. Once I put the build together, I'll show you how those work. He also has this passives when you go with the dodge. You know, at one point it gives you a 10% attack speed buff for 4 seconds each time you dodge. So that's a nice little thing to get. Unfortunately, more points don't pay out too well. You know, at rank 10, you go from 10% to 15.8% attack speed. You're really not getting a payout here. You can maximize it. If you're maximizing dodge, you might as well maximize it, but you know, you can neglect Enter the Void. You're looking at 6 skills basically that you can maximize your potential on. You get 120 skill points total. It goes up to level 60, 2 per level. You get the 2 free points from the quests, so you're kind of stuck, you know, deciding which skills you want to use. Out of all his acrobatic skills, I don't like any of them, except for action roll, really. These little leaps are very slow in recovery, and they do weird movements. They kind of tie you up. I don't like them. He's got a swing assault like Spider-Man. Don't really care for it. If you want to knock enemies back, you know, this knockback kick is pretty decent. It will get them out there, and it slows them down. Kind of a nice thing. I really don't want to knock anything away from me, though. This heroic leap is alright. It doesn't do any damage or anything, and it will go over some obstacles. But it's just, I'd rather do action roll. I only put a point in there, and I'm getting 15% dodge, so because I have bonuses. But at one point, it's 10% dodge for 3 seconds. The duration does go up a second per point, so if you're going with the dodge Daredevil, you're going to want to put points in there. Another skill we get here is this Relentless Justice, which basically increases his movement speed. And at 6 points, you're going from 10% to 13%, so I don't put any points in there myself. And he does get radar sense. That's another one I put a point in. For 1 point, you do get 10% projectile evasion, they call it. But this actually pays out pretty well. If you're going defensive dodge, you might want to put points in there, because at 11 points, it's basically 3% evasion per point spent. That's giving you a 33.8% dodge chance to projectiles. So not only can you dodge the projectiles, but now you can evade it as well. That gives you two chances. That's pretty nice. And then an ability that you might want to just put 1 point in is this Restorative Trance. So after a fight, or if you're fighting something, for every 5 spirits spent, you get 272 health. You can regen up pretty quick. However, when you hit it, you are minus all your defense. You have no defense. So, you know, be judicious where you hit it. But it can come in handy to keep you around, and it can be nice in between fights. So that's really all Daredevil does. Going into my build, like I said, radar ping, my number 1 ability. I love it. My number 2 ability is Enter the Void. Even though they changed it to just crit chance, it used to be for 5% of your health, you reduced your spirit cost by 50% for 5 seconds. It was kind of weird. Now, even though it doesn't say there's a spirit cost, it does cost 15 spirit to cast Enter the Void, but now you're getting, for every point spent, about 0.5% critical hit chance, starting at 5. So, it starts out a little high. And I'm going to do some of my 1-point abilities here. Action roll, that's my mobility. I like to move around with that. It has a side effect of giving me some extra dodge, but I usually use that to get out of the way of stuff. Ninja Reflexes is a 1-point ability for me. Because I'm not totally dodgy and because it doesn't pay out well, you know, you're getting, it starts off paying out pretty good, you know, but 4 points in it, you're getting 3% attack speed, and it's only when you dodge, and I'm not building my dodge up with this build, so it's just a nice added bonus when I do dodge. I'm doing 1 point in the radar sense. As you can see with my +1 skills, you know, it's putting me at 22% evasion for projectiles. That's fine for me. I'm not planning on getting attacked a lot. I'm putting 1 point in restorative trance. That's just to regen myself. And I gotta do 1 point in club speed as well. And that's gonna bring me up to club strike as the first primary thing I'm gonna build. This is your bread and butter skill. You know, you're gonna be using that a lot. And it hits pretty hard. 250 to 350, 55% or 54% chance to slow, 35% attack and movement speed debuff. I like it. I'm doing that over the taser. And the next one is triple strike. This is absolutely a high damage, burn the boss down, burn something down really, really fast. You blow through your spirit though, so be careful. You want to always leave enough spirit so you can radar ping at least. It's only 10 spirit, so you don't have to be so careful. I usually tend to leave enough spirit so I can radar ping and enter the void at the same time. I want to keep those up as long as possible. Before I triple strike, I'll make sure I have both those up because I want to do 38% extra damage. And I want an extra 11.67% crit chance. To deal with a lot of mobs, I'm going to do Whirling Club. And I'm going to put the rest of my points into Man Without Fear. Because, you know, a nice chunk of dodge is very nice. And that's what I'm calling the Cane Master build. It's basically focused around dealing damage with a cane. I'm just going to confirm here, get my abilities, and then I can set them up. I'm going to be doing these two the most, radar ping and enter the void. This is my single target, and this is my area effect ability. And we'll get Electra down here. She's pretty cool. So, just to show you the abilities in action, your radar ping does some weird things to you. You look a little weird. But you see everything's around you is kind of glowing with that debuff on. That's going to be your damage bonus and your damage reduction. So you can kind of cast it a lot. Once the shield goes down around you, the buff's gone. There it is. And then the Enter the Void is this blue misty stuff around you. Kind of hard to see. They should make you glow a little better. And that's the 2. So what I do is I radar ping, enter the void, and then let's say it's a boss. This is triple strike. You can see where all that crit's paying off, and you can see it's just doing thousands of damage, and it does it quick. So it's a phenomenal, do a lot of DPS real quick. On gearing, plus spirit will go a long way for your damage. When dealing with packs of mobs, this whirling club is what I like over the baton throw. As you can see, it's a lot of damage real quick yet again on an AoE, and it's pretty wide AoE. Every hit is only 5 spirit spent, so it can really do a lot of damage fast. And that was without the radar ping and the enter the void up. So put those up. Now you're hitting for 400 points, 400 life basically every shot. You can burn things down pretty quick. And then you just got your regular attack. It's kind of slow, kind of meandering, but it does hit pretty hard, 400 to 500 damage sometimes. So that's the end of my build. I'm gonna teleport over. Sorry about that little thing. I've got all my sound effects turned to lowest, but those overhead air conditioners and whatever makes that boom boom sound can't lower the sound on. So I'll be breaking up the video at this point, and then I'm going to be doing terminals. So I hope you enjoyed the Daredevil overview. Oh, I should go over gear first, before I forget. Gearing is pretty much, you're going to want as much damage and critical hit chance as you can get with spirit. Even though this has got dodge, it's got spirit, so I'm staying with it. I got lucky and found a cosmic glove. Pretty awesome. Even though it's not a bonus to the skills that I'm using, but it is +1 to all power, so it kind of is. And then every time I get hit, it does this huge blast for 400 to 800 points of damage, 7% chance. I'm going with drop rarity on my special side, except I found this with 21% special find, and I don't have anything that's even close with drop rarity, so I went with it. You're going to want +1 to any of your primary skills in the priority that I listed. I got a Starstone Tooth. That's pretty handy for regenerating health. I went with Lady Deathstrike's Medallion. Bullseye Medallion would be nice, but I don't have one with +1 all powers. So this is 5% crit chance. And a 13% chance to do more physical damage over 5 seconds when I hit. And then this is +1 to all powers with +400 damage when I go below 25 max spirit. That happens quite often. I went DPS oriented with the costume, so got another 5% crit chance there and 9 all damages, so that helps a little bit. I like that, +9 damage to all. And that's really all I did. And it does pretty good. So I'm going to go do the terminals. I'm going to kill the video here, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later.